Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I just want to give you a small tour of the new studio area that I have. I got a few questions on my live stream in particular about how the DJ setup is going to work when I'm going to get into DJing. And I just wanted to show off how that is going to work. So in this video that is what I'll be doing. Now I originally planned to film the whole process of me setting up this space, and I actually recorded quite a lot of footage. But me not being the greatest at vlogging, about 50% of that footage was out of focus. And therefore, like the whole storyline of that video didn't really make sense. I would, for example, have one segment that was really well filmed. And then it would say, okay, we'll catch back up when this and this and this happens. And then I filmed that next segment. And that would be completely out of focus. So I wouldn't be able to really make a compelling video out of that. So what I've done now is I've just grabbed my phone, walked around the studio a little bit, explained some of the things, some of the little tricks that I'm using in the studio to just make my life a little bit easier. And we're just going to go over that. Now still, I'm not the greatest at vlogging, so some of this footage may be a little bit wonky and not the greatest. I do hope that at some point I can improve this, and just by hopefully doing it more, maybe showing you some other parts of my life, maybe doing a few vlogs here and there, I can be a little bit better of a content creator also in that regard. But with that being said, let's get into the tour. Now, as you can see, this is the entrance of the studio. This is a cloth that just hangs here, just like a curtain thing. And then if I go in, I have the DJ area and then the production area down there. Obviously, that's the camera that I normally use. And you can just see that this is the area that I record. This is the area where I film. You can see this is my Ableton. Normally all of my stream stuff is on there. OBS, that kind of stuff. If I'm recording, I have another OBS on this side, as well as Audacity for my microphone. Right here I have my MIDI controller that I've been using a little bit more recently. I made a video on that as well. I have my hard disks there. That is, one is for very, very long-term storage, and that's all of like the active productions and active projects that I'm working on. I recently got a USB hub because I was running out of USB ports. As you can see, there's a lot already in use. This one is really nice because it has buttons here. You can click on it and it will actually turn off and on whatever you click on. So this one is for there. You can see the same cable there. And I like turning this off because this, as I said in that video, this one is slightly broken in the sense that some of the faders got like water damage. So when I leave it on, it actually makes like a slight beeping, humming noise, some high frequency like humming stuff, which I don't really like, obviously, sitting here all day and hearing that. There's a lot of other hardware here and stuff, but to be honest, I don't think that you're interested in the exact keyboard or mouse that I'm using or the hardware that I'm using. This is all going to get upgraded at some point in the future. Once I get my new preset pack out, that is hopefully going to cover the cost of me upgrading both my audio interface and in this case my speakers to actual monitors. I do want to give like a little recommendation to something like this here. This is one of those mouse cable holders that you see in a lot of like gamer setups. This is actually really nice. For the longest time I didn't actually know like why you would do that. But now, because the desk isn't mounted to the wall, right, there's just space here between everything. This cable isn't actually being held up by anything. So if I just leave it off, anytime I move the mouse closer, it's just going to fall down here. And then when you pull, it sometimes just gets stuck here. So you just pop in the cable right here, like this, and it will just hold the cable for you. Anyway, I want to show you how this is going to turn around into the DJ setup. I first need to move this little ventilator that I duct taped to a tripod I had laying around. This thing is just to cool the camera once I'm doing like very long recordings, because it's not meant to allow for long recordings. I actually did like a firmware hack on this camera, so the maximum limit usually is 30 minutes, but I upped it to 6 hours. So now I can record for 6 hours at a time. I can use it for live streaming. I can basically use it for anything that I want to use it for. But I'm a little bit scared of it overheating because obviously one of those limits is in place for a reason. So I just have the little ventilator there to just kind of blow air to it like this. And that's just going to cool it down. So the way that this is going to work when I'm DJing is, the idea is I can grab this cable, move it around the screen, and then just very slowly, because it's like all on the hinge and everything, I can just move this over here. So my screen is just kind of standing here, and I can have all of the DJing stuff up on here like I have now with Ableton. Right now, this is how I'm standing. It's a little bit like down, so I would be able to rotate it upwards, and now I just have like a full-on view onto the screen. Now I can do the same thing for the camera standard. I can unscrew this, and over here, and I can just kind of flip it around so that the camera would be like here-ish, and then it would be pointing back right at the artwork, and obviously I would be standing in front of it DJing on the console thing. I'm not going to do that because this is a very annoying standard to actually set up right. I do highly recommend it though, especially if you're using a camera in a way that is always static, because this is very, very firm. As you can see, it's just juggling the desk back and forth, but the thing itself doesn't actually move. The way that it works is it has these ridges here, and then there is like inserts in both sides that you can see this thing here, this thing here. Both sides of this insert also have ridges, so that the movement that you're doing like this is kind of controlled by the ridges on the thing here, and any turning that you're doing is controlled by the ridges that you actually see in here. So that means that all of this is just really kind of set, and that's really nice for a camera where you want to have a static angle like I have with the filming here. I don't really want to change it too much. Obviously it is going to change if I move it back and forth, but I don't want to do that unnecessarily. So I'm not going to do it for a tour, but hopefully you get the idea that then the camera is also going to be like in this area here somewhere, maybe a little bit more that way. And then here you would be able to imagine what the whole thing is going to look like. I have those speakers that I can listen from. I have the little webcam here as well that is just going to look at the console itself, so I could put that on the screen and actually show you guys from close by. It's going to depend on what I'm doing. If I'm doing like tutorials or just a live stream or anything like that, it's going to depend on the content that I'm making. But yeah, this essentially gives me a DJ setup that I can use to, you know, DJ. And I have already looked into using DJ software and which one I would want to go for. This console, when I got it like 10 years ago, it came with Serato DJ, and I have played around with that from time to time. I've also used Virtual DJ, but they're very annoying with licenses and stuff like that, and me being very bad at saving stuff, I actually bought one of the licenses for this console for Virtual DJ, and then I lost it. You know, changing out laptops, something like that. It was on the other laptop. I never transferred it, and I just kind of lost it. So yeah, I don't want to buy another one of those licenses, because there's actually an alternative. There is a software called Mix, which is like an open source software that basically does the same thing. It's like an open source version of, well, it looks very much like Rekordbox. So I guess that's the closest software to it. So for now, that is the studio, that is the whole setup, and that is what everything looks like. At some point, as I said, I do hope to upgrade both my speakers and my audio interface. That is going to be the next big improvement that I want to make. But as I said before, I need to save up some money in order to do so. So that will be for in the future. Now, once I make that investment and I get my new system and new speakers, I'll try to vlog it again so that I can give you guys an update on what it looks like. And maybe I can try again to actually record myself setting everything up, doing like the little unboxing stuff and all of that kind of good stuff. But for now, this is going to be it. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of the behind the screens. If you did, let me know by leaving a like, and if you're new here, make sure that you're subscribed. But that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.